يقتلون النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ولا يزنون ومن يفعل ذلك يلقى أثاما يضاعف له العذاب يوم القيامة ويخلد فيه مهانا إلا من تاب وآمن وعمل عملا صالحا فأولئك يبدل الله سيئاتهم حسنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما ومن تاب وعمل صالحا فإنه يتوب إلى الله متابا والذين لا يشهدون الزور وإذا مروا باللغو مروا كراما والذين إذا ذكروا بآيات ربهم لم يخروا عليها صما وعميانا والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما أولئك يجزون الغرفة بما صبروا ويلقون فيها تحية وسلاما خالدين فيها حسنت مستقرا ومقاما قل ما يعبأ بكم ربي لولا دعاؤكم فقد كذبتم فسوف يكون لزاما.
Jazakallahu khairul jaza wa ahsanallahu ilayk. And now we will get into the topic, the first lecture I'll be giving today. And the guest, the speaker will be our brother, our Sheikh, our Ussamah Adahabi, Sabrun Jamiil. And welcome the Sheikh. فليتفضل Sheikh.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله عز وجل وخير الهدى هدى رسولنا الأمين صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Earlier today we gave a khutbah at the Masjid Ibn Taymiyyah and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by his Ism al-A'la and his Ism al-A'zam that he puts the people in that masjid haqqan on the minhaj and the aqidah of al-Imam Ibn Taymiyyah. And during that presentation, we talked about some issues, just a few issues concerning the salat and the ahmiyah of the salat and the life and in the identity of the Muslim. After coming out of the masjid, a number of people approached me. I had parents approach me with their children complaining, although I didn't necessarily agree with that usloob, that the parents came to tell me to talk to the kid as if I'm going to make hajum. That's not the way of giving dawah, but it was the concern that the parents had for their children, that they wanted me to say a few words to their children in regard to this issue about the salah. Also, some of the brothers who are working with the program here advised me, why don't you speak some more in the next presentation about this issue of a salat, because if we chose to talk about the salat in every khutbah for this month and the next month and the following month, wallahi, we would have not done justice to the issue. So we want to deal with this being that the theme of this conference is taken from the statement of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, again, the one that he gave to his cousin, one of the youngsters of the community, Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiyallahu anhu. In the long hadith, he said to him, portion of that hadith, ihras ala ma yanfa'uka wasta'in billah wa la ta'jiz. He told that young man, do those things, hold on to those things, protect and safeguard those things that will benefit you. All of those things that will benefit you, hold on to them. And make isti'ana with Allah. Don't make isti'ana with anyone in the creation and those things that they don't have the ability to help you with. Make isti'ana only with Allah. As for the creation who have the ability to help you in certain things, make isti'ana with them after your isti'ana with Allah Azza wa Jalla. And thirdly, from what he mentioned in that hadith sallallahu alaihi wasallam was la ta'jiz. Those three kalimat of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all three of them are connected to the importance of the salah. As we mentioned earlier today, Muslim, Abdullah, Amatullah. There's nothing we can do here in this place, under this roof, in this room, that will help you more than getting the benefit that the salat gives you. So when the Nabi told the boy, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ihras ala ma yanfa'uka, the salat more than anything else will benefit you, more than anything else, after the tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jalla. As he mentioned, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as-salatu khayrul mawdu'. The salat is the best thing that you can do. It will benefit you in the dunya, and it will benefit you in the hereafter. And the one who doesn't do it, he puts himself in a situation where he and his situation, you have the right to be afraid for them. From the benefits, and there are many. I just want to touch this very quickly to get to the other topics that I want to discuss. Is that the Nabi told the people sallallahu alaihi wa ala alihi wasallam about the one who prays. The one who prays, that salat is going to come yawmul qiyamah, and it's going to be a cause and a source of light for him. Yawmul qiyamah al-dhulm dhulumat. The oppression that people make is going to be a cause of darkness. Eating haram, dressing haram, the mistakes that we make, bad language, all of the many things that people do. Yawmul Qiyamah is going to be a cause of darkness. But the one who prays, the salat pushes that darkness away and it benefits him. As the Nabi told us, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, man hafadha alayha kana lahu nuran wa burhanan wa najatin inda Allahi yawmul qiyamah wa man lam yuhafidh alayha lam yakun lahu nuran wa la burhanan wa la najatin wa kana ma'a Qarun wa Fir'aun wa Haman wa Ubay ibn Khalaf. He said that the person who takes care of this prayer, he's going to come Yawmul Qiyamah, and this prayer is going to be a source of light for him, light in his grave. The wudu that he made is going to be lit so that the Nabi himself will be able to identify this person was from my ummah, that person is from my ummah, with all of Bani Adam standing there. The Muslims will be able to tell who's a Muslim and who's not a Muslim. As a result of the parts of the body that we do the wudu on, they're going to be munawwara. And he'll have a burhan, a furqan, a dalil, a hujjah, a proof that he was a Muslim. What's the dalil that you are a Muslim, Yawmul Qiyamah? One of the biggest proofs is the person is going to have the issue of the salah. Because again, the difference between us and those people is the prayer. Whoever doesn't do it, he's not a Muslim. Even if he says with his lisan or she says with her lisan, they're not Muslims. And then he told us, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that the person is going to have najat. It's going to be a cause for an individual's success. The hadith of the Nabi to Abdullah ibn Abbas, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, ihras ala ma yanfa'uka, la yanfa'uka shay'un akthar min as-salah. The salat will benefit you more than anything else. When he told Abdullah ibn Abbas, hold on to protect that which will benefit you, Nothing's going to benefit you from the a'mal and the af'al connected to your body more than that salat, more than that salat. So therefore we have to take care of it. Also, from the benefits of the salat, وَكَثِيرُ مَا هِيَ, too many. It's what Allah Ta'ala has revealed in the Quran. Utla alayh, utla ma unzila ilayka min al-kitab wa qim as-salat inna as-salata tanha 'an al-fahsha'i wa munkar. Allah mentioned in that ayah to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Ya Muhammad, read to the people and don't be afraid and don't be shy. Read to the people what has been revealed to you from this Quran, has been ordering with the salat and other than the salat. Read that to the people and establish the salat. For verily that salat, it should prevent you from doing al-fahsha and al-munkar. Coming from the UK, those of you who have been there, those of you who have lived there, they have about 2 weeks of summertime. And it's always cold and the sun never comes out. Coming here to Ohio, first time in 7 years since I've been back in America, and the heat is the way it is, and you look all over the place, and there's fitna left, right, and center with the people who are not Muslims, with the fitna of the nisa. I'm sorry to say, I'm not surprised, but I'm sorry to say, I've been to Toronto, in the UK, we have a lot of Muslims where you guys come from. But I wasn't surprised. I'm sorry to say that I saw some of our Muslim women dressing just like those people. I don't put anybody outside of Islam, nor do I judge anyone and say that I'm better than anyone. But people who pray, and they're connected to Allah Azza wa Jalla, and they pray correctly in terms of the khushu', the concentration, the mechanics, and they understand and they comprehend the salat, the lady is not going to allow herself to go outside like that. The man who prays, the young man who prays, not going to allow himself to continue to look at a lady. He sees it right away, he's going to lower his gaze and turn away because he knows that he's going to be held accountable. The Nabi asked his companions, if one of you people had a lake, a river, some water right in front of your house, and you got into that water every day, 5 times a day, would there remain upon your body any dirt? They said, no, of course not, Ya Rasulullah. He told them, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, kadhalika as-salat. The salat is the same way. If an individual prays 5 times a day, that's all he does during this time. He doesn't do a lot of sunnahs, he just prays 5 times a day. Every time he gets into that water, it wipes away and it is a kafara for what went before from salat to salat, from Jummah to the Jummah, and so forth and so on. So from the benefits of the salat, ikhwani, is the fact that the salat is a kafara for the many mistakes that we make. And the people who abandon the prayer, and the abandonment of the prayer are a lot of problems with that. Also, in addition to that, just the many mistakes that we make. So when he told Ibn Abbas, radiyallahu anhu, wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina, ihris ala ma yanfa'uka. Hold on to, protect, pay attention to that which will benefit you. Nothing's going to benefit you in this dunya and in the hereafter more than that salat. From the benefits of the salat is that it protects the life of the Muslim. That was with the Nabi, and it should be the case right now. It gives him and her the hurma, that they have huquq in this religion. There was a man, the Prophet was on his way to the masjid, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in this authentic hadith and incident. There was some man during his time, he drew a square in the sand, on the floor, in the street, on the way to the masjid. And in the middle of the street, in front of everybody, he was praying. The Prophet went to the masjid and he passed by the man while he was praying. When he entered into the masjid, the people started praising him. Ya Rasulullah, that man has taqwa. That man is from the Salihin. Did you see that man? He was praying. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked his companions, who will go and kill that man for me? Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, I'll do it. He got up, he went to kill the man. The man was in sajda. He came back and he said he was praying, Ya Rasulullah. The Nabi raised his voice and he said, who will go and kill that man for me? Umar radiallahu anhu got up, he said, I'll do it. And he started rolling his sleeves up before even getting all the way up. He went, the man was still in sajda. Was it the same sajda? Another sajda? Allahu alam. Umar found him in sajda. He came back. He's praying, Ya Rasulullah. He was still praying. The Nabi became more angry and he said, who will kill that man for me? Ali ibn Abi Talib said, I'll do it. The Nabi said, you? And I don't think you're going to catch him. I don't think you're going to find him. When Ali went to get the man was gone. He came back. Ya Rasulullah, the man is gone. The Prophet told them, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, لَوْ قَتَلْتُمُوهُ لَكَانَ أَوَّلْ فِتْنَةٍ وَآخِرُهَا. If you people would have killed him like I told you to, if you would have killed him, he would have been the first fitna for this ummah, and he would have been the last fitna for this ummah. This hadith is sahih. Al-Imam Ahmed collected it in his Musnad, and other than Al-Imam Ahmed, has many interpretations. It's from what has some ishkal upon the uqul. But from the benefit of the hadith, is that if they would have killed that man, we wouldn't have had to deal with the fitna of Somalia today. We wouldn't have had to deal with the fitna of Palestine and Iraq, the fitna of a Dajjal. If they just would have obeyed the Nabi in that particular time, it wouldn't have been all these, it would have been the first and the last fitness from the benefit of the hadith. But the reason why I want to use the hadith here today is, the hadith goes to show, Ikhwani, if a person is praying, then the companions, Abu Bakr and Umar and the rest of them, they used to look at the one who prays as being someone who is protected. His blood is protected. His blood is sacred. His honor is sacred because he prays. Umar was not an individual who was hesitant or afraid to kill someone. He wasn't. Abu Bakr wasn't like that. But when they found that man in that condition, they knew the sunnah of the Nabi. From his sunnah, if he left to make jihad, the real jihad of al-Islam, when he left, he would see a group of people in their village was down there. He would tell the people, let's wait until the morning. If we hear the adhan, we'll leave them. If we don't hear the adhan, we'll go and deal with them. The Nabi told the people, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, من استقبل قبلتنا وصلى صلاتنا وأكل ذبيحتنا فذاك المسلم له ما للمسلمين وعليه ما عليهم. Anyone who prays towards our qibla, any person, you see someone, he used to be a Jewish person. He used to be a Jewish person. We come to find out he was a Jew. He was Jewish, Yahudi. He embraces Islam. We find out that he's a Yahudi. You can't say he's not a real Muslim. If he prays towards the Qibla of al-Islam and he prays the Salat of al-Islam, he eats the food that the Muslims eat, the Nabi said he's a Muslim. He gets the rights that Muslims have and we have rights over him. So the point here is, from the benefit of the Salat, Ikhwani, is the fact that the Salat, it protects the life of the person. And the one who's praying it, he knows that about other people. Where we come from, unfortunately, where I'm living right now, believe it or not, we have gangs. Pakistani Muslims fighting against Somali Muslims. Somali Muslims, some live over there, and they're fighting each other. In the process of all of this drama, Yemenis Muslims fighting against Somali and Pakistani Muslims. And all of this drama that's going on, in the last 7 years that I've been over there, countless Muslims have lost their lives as a result of usually getting stabbed. Why did the kid get stabbed? He got stabbed for no reason other than he comes from an area in which those people have drama with those individuals. He's not a gang member, he's just from the area, and they stabbed him. And the boy prays to Allah Azza wa Jal. The Muslim who knows this individual prays, it's haram for me to spill his blood. Even if he didn't pray, it's not my business, it's not my job, it's not my position to spill anyone's blood. But what about the one who prays? He faces the Qibla of al-Islam. The Nabi told Abdullah ibn Abbas, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ista'in billah. Seek help from Allah. The girl, she wants to get married. My daughter wants to get married. I'm going to tell my daughter, listen, anybody who wants to marry you, he doesn't have to be the Mahdi al-Muntadhar. I'm not waiting for Isa ibn Maryam to come back for you. But we have to keep our eyes open about the people who are coming, because what you see today is not what you get. People are hiding things. You want to get married? Seek the assistance of Allah. In this hadith of Ibn Abbas, Allah mentions something similar in a number of ayahs of the Quran. Allah commanded us in the Quran, وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. Seek the help of Allah by being patient and by praying. And verily, being patient and praying is difficult, except for the people who have al-khashya. So the one who wants to get married, the one who is married and they're being oppressed, the husband is oppressing the wife, he's married, the wife is no good. Whoever has problems, whoever has issues, he wants to graduate, he wants to get accepted in the university, he wants this, he wants that. The way to get those things, wasta'in billah. Seek the assistance of Allah. In the Quran, in a number of ayahs, wasta'inu bis-sabri was-salah. Inna Allaha ma'as-sabirin. Allah is with those people who have patience and they are consistent and persistent in trying to get the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, first and foremost by not making shirk with Allah in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and then by having a discourse and a discussion with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then lastly, ikhwani, the Nabi mentioned in the hadith sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that is the theme of the next 2 days in this conference, وَلَا تَعْجِزْ. Don't be infirm, don't be incapable. Don't be one of those people, you young people, the Muslim who knows Allah. The one who knows Allah, he knows himself. He knows the qadr of himself. He won't allow people to tell him, you can't do that. Nor would he allow himself to go the other extreme. The other extreme is for him to be mutakabbir, for him to be a person he thinks more than himself. If he knows who Allah is, through salat, through studying his religion, reading the Quran, what Allah does, what Allah doesn't do, where Allah is, where Allah isn't, a person comes to know that, he'll know himself. He won't be a person who's ajiz. The Nabi told Ibn Abbas, la ta'jiz. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a doctor, for an example. But people will come and say, you can't do it because you were born in this area and you don't have the money and this and that. The one who believes in Allah Azza wa Jal, he prays to Allah, he came to know Allah Azza wa Jal, he doesn't listen to people who say you can't. But the other side holds true as well. The one who knows Allah, he knows his situation. He knows that he is not better than anybody. He doesn't allow himself to be mutakabbir, mustakbir. He doesn't allow that. So now the question is what the question that Nabi used to ask the people. He used to say to the people a simple, easy thing. أَيَعْجِزُ أَحَدُكُمْ أَنْ يَقْرَأَ ثُلُثَ الْقُرْآنِ فِي لَيْلَتِهِ. Is it that one of you people has the inability where he cannot pray a third of the Quran during the course of the night? Is it impossible for one of you people just to pray a third of the Quran in one night, a third of the Quran? They said, how is that, Ya Rasulullah? Thinking that a third of the Quran is a lot, and it's a lot relatively speaking. He said if the person just reads Surah Qul Huwallahu Ahad, he read a third of the Quran. Is it impossible for a person, a Muslim, is it impossible for a Muslim just to wake up in the morning, and although these days Salatul Fajr is early, is it impossible and asking too much of the Muslim child, get up and just pray 2 rakat, even if you don't pray the 2 sunnahs? I encourage you to pray them, but if you don't, no one can say it's haram. Is it impossible for the 16-year-old kid, 15, 16, just get up and pray 2 rakats, and read in those 2 rakats, Qul Huwallahu Ahad, in both rakats if that's what you wanted to do? Is that impossible? Is it to that degree? Our mother, she saw the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam praying Qiyamul Layl for a long time. Aisha, Humayra, his feet began to swell and some blood was coming out of his feet. She said, why do you do this to yourself, Ya Rasulullah? Why do you pray so much? Allah has forgiven you what went before and what's going to come from your mistakes, from your sins. He told her, Ya Aisha, afala akun abdin shakura. Shouldn't I not be a person who gives thanks to Allah? That was just Qiyamul Layl, Qiyamul Layl. Should I not give thanks to Allah for what Allah did for me? He made me the Nabi and the Rasul and the Khatam of the Anbiya and the Sayyid of Bani Adam and revealed to me the Quran, and I have good health. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. So many issues. So now the question is, and I say to my kids, my son Ussamah, Abdullah, Abdul Rahman, all of them, the littlest one who should be praying, 7 years old. Don't put a lot of pressure on him. He doesn't know. But if he sees the other ones praying, they're going to give dawah to the little man. So now the question to our shabab, and to all of you Muslims, even the grown-ups here, is it impossible for all that Allah has given us? Is it impossible for a person just to read a third of the Quran? Is he ajiz just to make 2 rakats? And then when the other prayers come in, he has a window of opportunity. Allah didn't say, you must pray as soon as the time comes in, because your situation may dictate that you can't pray as soon as it comes in. What is the excuse? Can a person just look at that issue and take the time out to make salat to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with all what Allah ta'ala has given the individual? So the shahid, ikhwani, of all of that kalam, I think most of you are aware that the one who doesn't pray, there's ikhtilaf between the scholars. Is he a Muslim or is he a kafir? I'm of the opinion that he's a Muslim. If he or she leaves off the salat because they're kaslan, because of a tahawan, because they're just lazy and negligent, but they believe salat is wajib, I believe they're Muslims. But I believe that they're falling into an action of kufr. And one of the biggest reasons why I say that, one of the biggest dalils, there are dalil from the Quran and the Sunnah that prove that. But one of the biggest dalils why I say the Muslim who doesn't pray because of laziness, he's still a Muslim. One of the biggest reasons is because if I took that position that the one who doesn't pray, he's a kafir, even if he's lazy, but he knows salat is wajib. If I took that position, it means that the vast majority of Muslims in the world are kuffar. The majority of the people who are claiming al-Islam, they're kuffar. Because the majority of the Muslims who we know, who you know, from your family, your relatives, your neighbors, the majority of the Muslims who we know, most of us, they don't pray. And is that something that's ma'qul, that the Nabi's ummah, Rasulullah's ummah, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best ummah in al-Islam that ever came, this is the best ummah. Is it conceivable that the majority of the people are not Muslims? Although there are proofs, as we mentioned earlier today, some of them, there are some scholars who are of the opinion that the one who doesn't pray is really outside of Islam, even if he's lazy. So the point here, ikhwani fillah, especially you young brothers and you young sisters in al-Islam, but no one is exempt. No one is exempt. These prayers that Allah Ta'ala has put as an obligation upon us, they are imperative in the life of the Muslim. Every form of ibadah that Rasulullah was given, Jibril came to him and gave it to him. Allah made zakat wajib on your ummah. Allah made Sawm wajib upon your ummah. Allah made al-Hajj wajib upon your ummah. But for this issue of salat, Allah Azza wa Jal took the Nabi from Mecca to Bayt al-Maqdis, and then he went to the 7 heavens, and then he went to the Sidratul Muntaha, and then Jibril said, I can't go any further, I'm going to stop here, you have to go the rest of the way. The Nabi went the rest of the way by himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said on his way, he can hear the sound of the pen while it was writing, and then he went and he met Allah. Between him and Allah was a hijab, and there was nur. He couldn't see Allah, but he saw light. From what happened when he met up with Allah Azza wa Jal in a way that Allah knows its reality, Allah made wajib upon him from up there these prayers. From up there he made it wajib. When the Nabi came back, Allah decreed that he met Musa, the Kalim of Allah. Musa said, what happened? He said, my Lord made the salat an obligation upon me, and he made it this many numbers in the day. Musa, he said, go back because they can't do it. I tried it with Bani Israel. And Musa spoke the truth. He knew. Go back because they can't do it. Until finally it was reduced to the 5 prayers that we make today. And it's really 50 because al-hasanatu bi'ashri amthaliha. So for each prayer that you make, you're going to get 10 prayers. So it's 50 all in number. Musa said about these 5, go back and ask for a reduction because they can't do it. And Musa told the truth. Not because he knew the ilm al-ghayb, but he knows the nature of Bani Adam. He knows that they are those people who the dunya comes before these other issues. So the call here today, Khwani, and the message here today is that as Muslims, wherever we find ourselves, anytime, any place, then the salat is something that la tanfakku an al-Muslim mahma kan. He cannot be an individual who is not praying. She cannot be an individual who is not praying, as Allah Azza wa Jalla knew what he was doing when he legislated these prayers on ourselves. So in closing, someone asked a question and I told them I would deal with it right now concerning those of us who have not prayed certain time during the life. You should start praying. Once you hit the age of 7, your parents tell you to pray. When you hit the age of 10, they are allowed to hit you in a way of adab, to give you adab. But it's still not wajib on the 10-year-old to pray. But when he becomes baligh, he has to pray. So he didn't pray while he was 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Started praying at the age of 18, 19, 20, 25. What about all of those prayers in the past? Some people come and they say crazy things like, you have to figure out all of those years that you didn't pray, and then you have to multiply each day times 5, and you have to make those days up. There's no dalil for that. If a person allows the salat to come and go, the time, Salat al-Asr is coming. If a person allows Asr to come and go out and he doesn't pray, there's no qada for that salah. You can't make up a salat that you let come and go out because there's no dalil to allow you to do that. You can make a qada of fasting, a qada of hajj. And Imam Ibn Hazm said, I don't know any sin after a shirk greater than a person allowing the salat to come in and to go out. In Al-Imam Adahabi's book, Kitab al-Kaba'ir, you can find that kalam. So what should we do about those prayers that we didn't make? We were not praying at some times during the course of our lives. What should be done is we should take advantage of Ramadan, the Taraweeh of Ramadan. One of the benefits, from the many benefits of Taraweeh, when you're standing there and you're getting tired. The first 2, 3, 4 days, people are pumped up, they're fired up, and they're really praying. But after that, we start getting distracted and we say, I'm not going to go to the masjid today. And before you know it, many days go by in Ramadan and we didn't pray. The Taraweeh prayer is one of those prayers that can complete what you missed previously. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam informed the people that if a person prayed all of his prayers, the farida, and he prayed them correctly, Allah will write them down as being complete and correct. But if he prayed his farida and they were lacking, he missed them in numbers. He missed some of them. He didn't have khushu' in all of them. Allah Ta'ala will look and he will say to the malaika, Unzuru ila salat abdi in kana lahu tatawwa. He'll tell the malaika, look at the sunnah prayers of my slave. If his wajib prayer, fard prayer is lacking, he missed some, she missed some, Allah will tell the malaika, Yawmul Qiyamah, look at the prayer of the tatawwa, the sunnah, فَيُكَمِّلُ بِهَا مَنْ تُقِسَ مِنْ فَرِيدَتِهِ. Those prayers that he missed, complete those farida prayers with the sunnah prayers like in Ramadan. On the day of Jummah, for those of you who miss prayers, on the day of Jummah, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us and taught his companions that there is no sunnah prayer before Salatul Jummah, but when you come to the masjid for Jummah, you can pray 2 rakah, 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 ila in yasha Allah, as much as you want. If you just come in and you pray 2 and you sit down, that's okay. But if you missed prayers in your life in the past, the way you get those prayers completed, the way you make tawbah, the way you get that sin wiped off of your slate, is to pray as many nawafil as you possibly can pray. To pray 2 rakahs when you go into the masjid, to pray 2 rakahs when you go into your house because you went into your house, to pray all of those prayers that the Nabi has given us the sunnah. But to pray them how? And this is what we want to end on. To pray the prayer how? To pray the prayer like the monkey. You can teach the monkey how to pray. You could teach anyone how to mechanically move. But the question here is to pray the way the Nabi taught the people how to pray. He said to the people, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Man tawadda'a kama umira, wa salla kama umira, faqad ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi." Anyone who prays, anyone who makes wudu the way he was told to make wudu. I'm a revert. I meet you guys for the first time. The revert comes and he meets the Muslims from Somalia. He meets them from Pakistan. He meets some other ones, some other parts of Africa. He's a brand new Muslim. He says to me, "Okay, people, teach me how to pray. I want to pray. I know the importance of prayer." Those people over there in Africa, they're going to tell him pray like this. Those people over there, they're going to tell him pray like that. Those over there, they're going to tell him do something else. And yet the Nabi prayed in front of the people for a number of years, 5 times every single day. So the one who makes wudu the way he was commanded to make wudu, the way he was instructed, and the one who prays the way he was instructed to pray, the way he was told, then his sins will be forgiven. As for the person who just makes wudu, he makes wudu and he puts his finger in his mouth like a toothbrush. He wasn't told to do that. He makes the wudu and he takes the water and he put it in his neck and behind his back. Some make a wudu and they wash from under their arms. He's making wudu, but not the wudu that he was told. Do the thing the way that you've been commanded to do, inshallah. That coupled with the ikhlas that's necessary in that particular form of ibadah, it'll be inshallah ta'ala enough to guarantee bi'idhnillah Allah's forgiveness and Allah's qabul. So in closing, this issue about Sabrun Jamiil, the sabr that it takes, that we have to have with this prayer, although that's not what I really wanted to talk about, but it was because many people came to me. I wanted to make mention and to remind further about this issue. As for Sabrun Jamiil, very quickly, how much time do we have? As for the Sabrun Jamiil, inshallah, maybe at one of these other lectures, I'll try to put that in with one of the future lectures. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى التوفيق والسداد والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.